All right, here we are, July 27th through today, August 3rd. I got Ben with me here.
Yes, sir. How's it going, Professor Sweet?
It's going good. Last week we saw the Fed meeting and we saw the markets sell off in reaction, but then recovering. So we'll talk about the Fed this week. To also talk about earnings. This is a big earnings week. Got consumer confidence, 90% might sound like a good number, but it's actually a pretty weak number if you look historically, but it underperformed expectations. It was below the prior. But as we've seen, consumers have been spending. There's nothing in these consumer confidence numbers that imply that consumers are really cutting back dramatically.
And this consumer confidence board tends to be more accurate than the Michigan one.
Well, both of them are at weak levels. This is the consumer confidence. You can see we're back to where we were in pandemic.
Mhm.
But if you remember the missing one, they're back to lower than the 2008
Yeah.
crisis, which makes no sense at all.
That's-
These numbers I can see, Iran, inflation, those kind of things, although it's been lower even well before Iran. So it's amazing we're back to those COVID numbers because it seems like we
Yeah.
should be more confident than that. Consumers hate inflation more than
Mhm.
anything, and you can see 2022 with that inflation, that's when it started coming down. Um, but I doubt we're going to see it dramatically in the retail numbers. So we'll see consumer spending as it needs to hold up because it's a big chunk of our economy.
Yeah. PCE came as expected. It's falling a little bit behind because we get it late, but we're mainly looking at the CPI and PPI right now because it's more up to date.
Comes out faster.
Even though the PC is one of the main things the Fed looks at.
Yeah, as far as, and I don't know what numbers they get if they get them earlier, but yeah, everything came in line. And I think the problem now is June looked great, negative 0.1%, but that's because oil prices are down. Oil prices were down, what, 21% in June. Then they shot back up 23% in July, and then today they're down 7%.
7%.
So the market, I think, is somewhat going to ignore the impact of oil prices because President Trump says something about Iran and the markets react either direction. So I think the market's somewhat in a wait and see. They certainly would like to see Iran resolved. So there's a conference board that we just saw, and then you're seeing inflation drop dramatically, but probably will be back up again next month as oil prices come back up. There's oil prices. You see that big drop in May and then the huge rise through mid-July. We are down somewhat from mid-July. Oil prices are back below 90 bucks. I think there's still people that are shocked that oil prices aren't much higher than they are now when you look at just the disruption to global supply. So maybe we're lucky we're below 90 bucks again. We got ISM today. Crazy number,
Good.
55.6, strongest number since mid 2022. So US manufacturing, I don't know how they're
Yep.
doing it.
Beating expectation, beating prior, it's doing really good.
The one thing I read that's a little bit concerning is that all those data centers go through these numbers. So there might be an artificial aspect to the ISM. There's so much being spent on data centers. I don't know if you can actually adjust the ISM manufacturing by taking data centers up, but the data centers are a big chunk of that number. So maybe not as strong as we think because we know there's a lot of spending going on there. We get ISM services on Thursday. That's also been really strong here recently. And then the big one, payroll numbers on Friday. We'll see. We've had some weak numbers here recently. We'll see. There's ISM manufacturing. Just look how strong that
Doing
number
really
is.
good,
Just keeps
2026.
keeps jumping up. Um, yeah, the Fed met last Wednesday. They didn't change rates, which is we talked last week. There was maybe a 30% chance they would raise rates, but still most people didn't think they would. So no rate change.
We're still between 3.5 and 3.75%.
Right.
So
They've gone, what, 4 or 5 meetings without changing rates.
mhm.
Their next meetings, they don't have a meeting in August, so their next meeting's in September. Be interesting. That jobs report on Friday will probably be a really important input for that. If we get a really strong jobs report, that could actually be viewed as negative because it just means the Fed has more ability to raise rates. The big thing with last Wednesday is 3 members actually voted to raise rates. So you had some unusual division within the Fed. Warsh himself says he's committed to that 2%
2%.
target. So But even with that, the market fell a little bit on the probability of a rate rise for the rest of the year to 87 from 92, but not a big change. The market expects the Fed to raise rates this year, but you can see Warsh's comment down there. It's some people were saying, well, it's the 2%, some of a soft target. You kind of want them somewhere around there. He says no, 2%. It's hard to say you're committed to 2%. We've been well above that now
I,
for several years.
I hear some critics saying that they should change the 2% target. What do you think, Professor?
It's for most of my career, we were comfortable with 5%. The 2% came out of nowhere, and there's a commitment to the 2%. I'm not sure why 2% is such a magical number. I've seen some people I really highly respect saying we could go to a higher inflation number like 3-4% and it wouldn't destroy our economy. I grew up in the 70s where we had double digit inflation, 10% inflation. So what's magical about the two other than it's the Fed's commitment to keeping inflation low? And if they don't have a target, the market thinks they're going to get political or wishy-washy. So that's probably part of Warsh is hey, under my watch, we're going to stick with the target we had when I came in.
Makes sense.
There's the percentage change over time. So you can see definitely we've been in that more than a 3 out of 4 chance that they're going to raise rates the rest of this year, especially after the Iran situation. Markets, incredibly strong markets this week, 2.5% in a week. I'll take that.
Really good.
Multiply that by 50 weeks. That would be a really good market.
So,
Small cap have been the strong performer this year, but somewhat took a breather this last week. This last week was really growth stocks and tech stocks. You must say, wow, tech stocks did well with earnings. But boy, it depends.
Depends.
Yeah, look at this
On the company.
amazing chart. Microsoft, Amazon's not a tech stock, it's consumer stock, but Amazon, Google up double digits. Microsoft, a $3 trillion company, up 25%. That's obviously going to
That
help
is
raise.
amazing.
Apple was down 9% this last week. It's a big stock as well, but when Microsoft's up 25%, that's going to really move markets. Microsoft's been really weak since last October, so it's come down a bunch, so it's still not recovered what it's lost the last few months, but good recovery. Amazon, we have that in our portfolio, and that really helped us. Our target price on Amazon, we're getting close to that, so we might be getting to a point where we might have to sell Amazon. Um, Qualcomm, KLAC, you're seeing some semiconductor stocks down, but then Nvidia was up this last week, so the market is essentially saying we're going to scrutinize the
Yep.
details because Apple beat expectations and the stock was down. KLAC beat expectations, the stock price was down. Microsoft beat expectations, stock price is up. Amazon crushed expectations by 200 something percent. They're up. So it really depends on what management is saying. And I think the biggest thing people are looking at is that CapEx AI spend and how large that is.
And Professor, a couple of months ago, the tech stocks were moving really together. Those companies, they're moving more as a group where one of them gets an earning release like Nvidia, and then the whole market is up. And now we're seeing a lot more scrutiny. Do you know why that is?
Well, I think it comes down to CapEx. Reed and I talked about this last week. We're getting to the point now where it's show me the money. If you're going to put $200 billion, like even Microsoft, they're talking these big, big, big numbers. Convince me you're going to get the return on capital on that. And so a lot of it's what management says, where they put in the numbers, and what is it coming out on the revenue side. International, a little bit more mixed, not quite as strong as the US market. You're seeing China down and Japan down. I think Japan's interesting. It looks like it's down 1.8%. But if you had invested in Japan, you would actually be up about 2% because the yen rallied 4%. You saw a strong rally in Japan. Yeah, it's kind of been a mix. We talked about South Korea being down because its tech companies are down. So yeah, the world is not moving all together right now, and a lot of it has to do with what's going on in Iran, but also which sectors their particular economies are driving their stock markets. There's Japan yen. You see that drop. I spoke to one of our alums this last week. He just got back from Japan. It's a really great place to visit, a really, really modern, very clean country, very easy to get around. And if the yen is, depreciated as much as it has the last few years, hotels, food should be a lot cheaper, but I don't have time to go visit Japan right now. Interest rates, the 10 years up another 3.7 basis points. We've been somewhat tracking between that 4.5 and 4.75 last few weeks. We'll see the jobs report going to probably be pretty important to that number. So if you're walking to an interview, I don't know if you have an interview this week, but if
No,
you're walking
sir.
into one this week, consumer confidence came in weak, but we'll see if that goes through retail sales. Inflation, we knew was going to be high because we saw CPI and PPI earlier. Not a surprise, and might be temporary because oil prices are bouncing around.
All eyes are on the job reports this Friday. This could be good news or bad news, depending on the report and what the Fed September decision.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine we get a unusually strong number. I think what was amazing in the last few jobs report is how much one particular sector of the economy drove that number. And I think the last month's number was weak, but it got driven very substantially by just one industry. So we'll see. So it could be a strong report, and you think, well, that'd be bad news because the Fed's going to raise rates, but it could just be one sector that bounced back. So look at the details, always important. If you're going to do well in the interview, look at those details and have some of those details most people don't know. Look at what sector really drove the numbers. The Fed held rates steady, but you had three members voting to raise rates. So earnings season is still going strong. We saw a lot of volatility last week with Microsoft and Amazon really driving markets higher, but then some really important names like Apple dragging lower. This week we see pharmaceuticals. We own Merck, so it'll be interesting to see how they do. I think all eyes tomorrow are probably going to be on SpaceX, so that will be interesting to see.
Japan stocks are down, but the yen really rallied past day or so.
Yeah, it's important on international stocks to know, are you looking at the returns in local currencies
Mhm.
or in dollar terms? And so Japan is one where the stock market was down, but you would have actually made money last week in Japan. Bonds continue to sell off kind of somewhat slowly last few weeks, but still trending down. I noticed that in my portfolio.
Inflation.
It's kind of nice that you can get risk-free 4.5% returns
Yeah.
from the US government.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good return. So this week, jobs report, a few more earnings reports, see what SpaceX does tomorrow, and then watch those pharmaceuticals companies. We'll see NVIDIA up here, the last of the Mag 7 reporting probably next week. So it should be a really important
Yeah.
week this week. We'll see how that drives markets. All right, good job, Ben.
Thank you, Professor.